Hello, YouTube. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick movie review with you guys today about the new movie that came out last week called The Devil Inside. Now, in the previews, I saw that it was a movie about exorcism, and I love scary movies because I think it's fun to be scared. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go see this. So last week, the day after it came out on Saturday, my friend and I went to the movie theater to go see The Devil Inside. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it was freaking awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, today is not opposite day. The movie freaking sucked. Okay, if you've ever seen The Exorcist, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Exorcist 2, The Exorcist 3, that witchcraft movie, The Blair Witch Project, if you've ever seen any of those movies, just put them all together and you have the devil inside. The only scary parts in the whole movie were the parts in the preview. And the scariest part in the whole movie was when they were walking down the street and this huge burly black dog came just randomly and just barked and freaked me out. I screamed. But that was the scariest part. And the dog wasn't even possessed. It was a normal dog. Okay, to give you a quick summary of what happened in this movie is that there was this girl and her mom killed 3 people who were part of this parish. And they said she was insane, but the Roman Catholic Church had this really big interest, so they sent her over to the Vatican, and she's in this mental institution in the Vatican. So the daughter is like, well, I think my mom is possessed, so I'm going to go over to the Vatican and go visit her, and I'm just going to go see if she's possessed or not. So she takes this camera guy and her, and they go over to the Vatican. And you know how in the Blair Witch Project, there are these kids and they just have these little video cameras and they're just filming and the whole movie's shaking up and down. Just imagine if I did all of my videos like this. Wouldn't that be annoying? But anyway, it was like that the whole movie. You know, the guy just had the camera on his shoulder the whole time, so it was shaky and none of it was really that good. And for some reason, bad filming makes the movie more scary. I don't know. I will never understand that. Maybe it makes it more real. But it just didn't work for this film. So they get to the Vatican, and this daughter wants to do research on exorcism. So she walks into a classroom about exorcism. And of course, the very moment she walks in, the teacher is like, oh yes, and right here, we're learning about multiple demonic possessions, blah blah blah. And it's not a coincidence or anything that I'm talking about this, and this has everything to do with the movie. So then she starts hanging out with this priest and this exorcist, and they're like, oh, we're going to help you help your mom, and let's go visit your mom and stuff. So then, just like in the preview, she goes and visits her mom, and her mom's all freaky, and she like cuts herself and draws pictures, and then she's got that shit on her lip. I don't know if you saw the preview. Go look, though. And that's pretty much all that happens, and then she screams really loud, and that's all scary and stuff. So now, like, halfway through the movie, we finally get to see a real exorcism of this girl in this basement. She's just this random girl. But anyway, so she's possessed by this demon, and the priest and the daughter and the exorcist go into this room, and they start doing the exorcism on her. And she's all grody looking and stuff, like her lips are chapped, and she's just, like, all frail. And of course, she's in some weird position, just like in every other exorcism movie ever. By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but during this girl's exorcism, she starts bleeding from the crotch a lot. It was awkward. I think the demon was coming out of her hoo-ha or something. Anyway, so the girl gets better. Nobody cares about her. She, like, crawls up a wall. Cliche. So then they're like, oh, well, you know what we should do? Let's do an exorcism on your mom, even though the Vatican doesn't think that your mom's possessed by a demon. But let's do it anyway. So they go in this room, and they pretend to be doing tests on the mom, but of course they're doing an exorcism, and she freaks out because she's possessed. And, like, she starts blowing up the room, and she's, like, making shit fly, and it's just crazy. Just, yeah. But it's really not that crazy because it's not scary. It's like, oh, she's possessed and she's making shit move. Okay. So then all that stuff happens, and somehow they end up in the hospital with the mom, and the mom is like in the hospital, and they're like, oh no, you can't keep her in the hospital, she's gonna kill everybody here because she's possessed. And they're like, oh no, she's gonna be fine, and then she kills a nurse, so it's like, oh, you guys are right. So then they take her in this car, and they're like, oh, we gotta get her so we can do an exorcism on her, drive, and the cameraman's driving, and the daughter's like in the passenger seat, and I think, oh yeah, I forgot, the priest, he shot himself because he got possessed by one of the demons that the mom was possessed with. I forgot that, but no one cares. Anyway, so the priest is dead, but the exorcist guy's still there, and he is in the back seat with the mom. So then they're telling the cameraman, drive. And then, you know, of course, one of the demons from the mom jumps from the mom into the cameraman who's driving, and it's like, oh, well, we know how this is gonna end. And then, you know, the cameraman's just like, ooh, I'm possessed, I'm just gonna keep driving, faster. And then, boom, he crashes the car, and, you know, all the cameras get buzzy, and then the movie ends. If I would have had a tomato in the movie theater, I would have thrown the tomato at the screen at the ending. I'm pretty sure somebody else had a tomato and they did throw it, because people were pissed. I probably should have said spoilers alert at the beginning of this little vlog, but I'm really not spoiling anything because it sucked that bad. But to end this vlog on a happy note, I just wanted to say that you should really go see the second Sherlock Holmes. And I'm not going to give away what happens because it's so good. I'm not even kidding. It's a really good movie. So go see that. I also wanted to give a shout out to Sexy Micahzation, who commented on my last video. And he was my favorite New Year's resolution. And he said that his New Year's resolution was to punch some little kid at a basketball game, which is a great New Year's resolution. So if you've stayed with me through this really long, stupid video, I really want you to comment on it and tell me, who do you want to be possessed by? Like, if you could have anyone in the world possess you, like alive or dead, whatever, like George Washington or something, who would you want it to be? And please subscribe to my channel, it's over there, or I will possess you. Thank you, bye.